And I went down to basically I'm 4K and 100 to 100. Yeah,
Dude,
I'm 4.2, I think.
if you came out in profit last week, in my opinion, you crushed it. Like, cause it was, I pretty much gave all my profits back from the week before. And,
For real?
yeah, man, everything was set up for dollar strength, and then just Thursday afternoon and then Friday, it just turned into a huge risk on rally. So, yeah. So what's up, Florent? Are you back in France?
What's up, guys? Yes, sir.
Yeah. Are you eating baguettes and drinking coffee?
I got the coffee part down. Yeah, I haven't had the baguette yet. Snuck a nap in. I'm like so tired right now.
Well, glad
but so glad to be back to it. Yeah, man. Me too. Can't wait. Can't wait for this week.
Awesome. Me too. And I'm sitting here, so I'm going to go over a couple of my setups. I know Steven has some good ones because you're messaging me on NZD CAD. And yeah, so I'm either going to not trade the dollar this week and just look for crosses, and or wait until they some more clearer direction, I guess, goes. I mean, Johnny was talking about it in the chat room that, like, I think either, you know, the dollar just kind of up in the air, or I would just early, which happens a lot of times on the call for like the dollar strengthening. So like dollar CAD, man, it looks like I really like to get in on that. If we do get some strength. Let's see here. But what I was just sitting here looking at is the pound pairs. I know that, you know, we got, let's see, it might take a minute for this to load up. I know we got Brexit going on, so maybe it's a little risky looking at the pound, but man, it's broken out on multiple different, like, multiple different pairs. Let's see. Sorry, I got to reboot this. Especially if you look at it with GU, it's over a huge, it broke out above a huge thing of support. And then also GJ as well. And Blake's in a pip on GJ.
Hey, what's up, traders? So we're running a contest every single month. We pick one winner who comments, likes, and to subscribe to my channel and comments on every video this month. We randomly pick a drawing, and hopefully it's you. Just be sure you like, comment, and are subscribed to this channel, and you'll get free access to our full training academy and everything it is have to offer. Good luck, peace, and enjoy the next video.
Pound Swiss is a little hard to tell, but if we do get some pound strength here, I think, you know, this could be pretty potential good breakout if we break above this little area here. And the reason why I'm looking at pound pairs is, like, let's go to GU, right? So if the dollar just completely we have a breakout, right? So, I mean, you guys see this right here, right? So inverted head and shoulder pattern, we broke out above the neckline. So, like, if we got a retest, this would be nice. Somewhere around here, or even down to this area would be good for GU. So, like, and what I saw with the pound to make me want to look at all these other pairs was Blake's call on GJ, which is super similar. I'd already been looking at it, but so we have inverted head and shoulder, breakout like on multiple levels here, and it makes sense that, like, this would look so similar to GU because, like, US dollar is like the #1 kind of risk asset now. The only reason dollar strengthening is if the stock market's turning down. And I read a great article. It was actually by Kathy Lean, and wait, I think it was by her, but you know, she's saying that like now the S&P 500 is pumping just because either way, even though the stimulus plan isn't going through before the election, the market's pretty much just pricing it in that, well, it's going through after the first of the year, so we might as well keep going higher. And so that's why, you know, the dollar got so weak at the end of the week last week. So, but here we are, we have this big resistance that we're above now. So I think this might be a really good setup to look for some sort of dip, right? To maybe around this area for a buy. Same with GU, or yeah, GU. Because we're above this big resistance right here, breakout. EG, so like if the pound gets super strong here and we end up having something like a false breakout or this kind of descending triangle, if this fails, this could be a really good opportunity here. So, and then let's take a look at Euro USD. I mean, we kind of broke out on, we definitely broke out higher on Friday, but we still have all this resistance over here to deal with. I was looking at it on the weekly chart, and so on the weekly, you have this point, this point, this point. So we have our downtrend line, and let me move these arrows. You can see it looks pretty, pretty much like a breakout and a retest here on the weekly chart. So obviously if we can manage above here, or then that would be some big news, but it's really hard to say. So, but if the euro fails right there and the pound is getting strong, then that would be the reason for us to be wanting to be going short here on, and look at that on the weekly candle, that last weekly candle on last week. So that's really what I'm looking at. I mean, with the dollar and stuff, like, gosh, man, I am like looking at dollar CAD, like salivating way down here, hitting all these like former great levels, but like, God, it just burned me last week. So I guess we'll have to just wait and see if this level of support holds or not. If it does, this could be a good opportunity, but I'm going to wait. But we know from all these, like from when we were trading this a month ago, that how strong this level of support was because of this descending triangle and stuff. So, so yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at. What do you guys think? You guys see that pound? Has anybody had the pound on their radar at all, or?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah,
I charted like crazy last night. I have a bunch of stuff.
Well, I just opened it up.
If you want me to share?
You want? Yeah.
I'm gonna start with the dollar index because we were talking about the dollar, you know, totally collapsing. Let's see here, and the dollar is actually coming on the Dixie and the U.S. dollar index. They're both coming into demand. We're probably going to drop down to this level right here and see a nice bounce up. We do have this supply zone, this opposing zone, and I mean, you guys know how I trade. I trade in between zones with momentum. So I would sell to this target and then get in a buy here and go up to that target and set one a little higher than that as well. But I see dollar strength coming in here. But if we do go through this, I mean, we had the next supply or demand zone is way down here. So we'll see how that goes. You know, anything could happen. And then the, let's see here, you are talking about the GBPUSD. So I see that this is, it's got a long way to go before we get into a supply zone. I mean, it probably is gonna, I would suspect, because there's really nothing opposing this. All of these candles formed from unfilled orders, and there's nothing, it blew through all this demand, so there's nothing stopping it from there. I actually had a trade set up in this area. There's a good little 4-hour demand zone to get into if it retraces, and then the dollar CAD, the dollar's just so weak all across the board. I mean, I have it, all weak in all categories against all currencies, and this is the closest, it's in a demand zone right now. If it doesn't, actually bump up and get a nice move to the upside from here, I mean, we do have, this area of support right here that would potentially hold it up. It just depends on, sentiment. And then with the, this is the trade that I was talking about yesterday in the group, and then I sent you, actually, yeah, this is it. We have this head and shoulders pattern, and then we got a good little move. I think I caught like 60 or 70 pips out of this when I got into it. I had this supply and demand trade, but I'm incorporating, patterns. I didn't get in here, so I drew a little triangle right here. And once it broke, I got in the trade, and we're actually retesting this neckline. And there's a lot of confluence right here because we have, I don't know if you guys follow quarters theory or not, but I'm big into quarters. It pretty much says that the market moves in 1,000 pip increments, and then it targets 250 pips at a time. And if it doesn't break that quarter, it reverses back to its origin. And we have 87.50 right here. Literally, it's on that quarter, and we didn't make it down to the next quarter, which would be 8,500. So there is potential for it to balloon through that, but I don't see that happening. I see actually a nice drop from here. And then I also had the Euro JPY,
So you're looking for a
which is
short?
doing the exact same thing. Yeah, I'm looking for a short on NZD CAD. And then Euro JPY is literally doing the same thing. I think that it's literally the exact same thing. It's going to a neckline on head and shoulders at a large quarter, 125 even. It's got a nice little triangular pattern. I might set a stop order somewhere in this area. I do believe that this is a beautiful trade as well. And
Yeah,
then I
okay,
have some,
DJ too.
let's see here. Yeah, that's all I have. Oh yeah, the CHF JPY. I also I look at pairs like this because if we go to, I don't know if you guys have seen how I do the relative strength, but this is weak on all of my time frames that I trade on, except for the weekly. Oh no, this is the wrong. Hold up, let me pull this up. Yeah, it's strong on all the time frames. So the Swiss franc is against the yen is super strong. So this is perfect for some momentum trading. But also when that's the case, typically we're coming into supply, but there's still a good move to the upside. We get in a retracement here, somewhere in there. But I don't have that mapped out. But yeah, that's what I've been looking at. I'm gonna actually chart for the rest of the day. I'm gonna nerd out and get some really good trades going on, and I'll post all of them.
Nice.
Typically
Yeah.
when I have the time to do it, I find some good stuff.
Awesome, dude. Yeah, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, that I like the NZD CAD trade a lot. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and that Euro JPY, I'm telling you, it's got good potential too.
EJ, yeah, because there's that big
Same.
ascending wedge there. And
Yep, going into a quarter number into the neckline of the head and shoulders pattern.
recipe. The
Yep.
recipe. Yeah, what are you looking at, buddy? You want to
I
trade
love that
your
shit,
stuff?
man.
I don't think you heard me.
Don't be shy now.
Hey everyone.
Thanks for sharing, Steven. That was great.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, what's up, buddy? Do you want to trade any, show any of your
Yeah, I've been
trades, what you're
looking.
looking at or what you're thinking? I know it's a confusing market right now, so I mean, there's really no right.
Yeah, I've been looking at some. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
So I've been looking at some pound pairs. Let me share my screen. Mm. Can you guys see?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I've been looking at EJ2. So as Clay mentioned and Steven, we got here a nice ascending wedge, and RSI is actually divergent too. I think we might get a bounce here to 61.8 and then a retracement to the 38.2. I've been taking notes that EJ weekly and daily bias are looking bullish to me. Then here Euro USD daily and weekly is kind of ranging.
It's at a
And
big border too.
this last week I got stopped out many times trading EU. Then on pound pairs, I've been noticed this last week is pound is very reactive to the Brexit news and headlines. Any headlines that come out UK and Europe is making some big moves on pound pairs, especially on GU and GA. Here on GU, I think Clay has mentioned this inversion head and shoulders pattern. But yeah, that's all I have. I've been drawing some charts on indices, but just to get the market risk appetite. So if it is risk off or risk on, but that's all I have.
I like it, dude. I like it. Good stuff. That pound Aussie looks pretty interesting there.
Yeah, but it took some losses this week on this one too. But I like it. This one, I'm probably gonna choose GA to trade on my challenge when I get started, because it's a pair that makes some big moves, and it's a nice one to catch that good entries and some nice pips.
Yeah. I think GA is definitely one where you can definitely get some good moves. If you're scalping, which isn't a bad idea right now, GA is a good one. Do you think if I actually like that setup, man? If we get some risk on and more Aussie strength,
Yeah,
pounds, or even a pullback on it, that could be a good short right there. But
yeah,
of course, if the pound breaks higher, then it's going to be a big move for that when it does. That's for sure. Yeah. Well, thanks for trade, man, or thanks for sharing your trades. And I think my game plan too for the week is just like going small, not getting too aggressive early, and really trying to figure out, trading shorter time frames for sure. Finding a good setup like that is like clear, like the GU or GJ. Like Euro USD, it's still kind of unclear what's going on there for sure. I mean, I got burned last week trying to trade it. Rui, what are you looking at, buddy? Anything different? You got any of your pairs going on?
Well, I didn't have much time to look at charts because I'm dealing with some stuff of my university. I'm finishing my graduation, and I have to get something done. I have to get some stuff done till the end of this month, and like I got my first week in a positive way, so I kind of used the weekend to work on that stuff. But yeah, basically I'm just looking at the index of the dollar because I'm wondering how much lower it can get. I mean, dollar just came down because of the stimulus talk, right? Nothing particular. I
Well,
think it's all speculation. I think so. I'm sort of waiting how that will turn out,
Mhm.
because because from what I look, I think it's just speculation so far. I don't see any stimulus coming in the next 3 weeks. At least Trump said he wouldn't approve something because I don't know. I guess I'll just wait and do some charts later, but probably won't get on till Thursday.
Yeah.
Probably Monday will be a mess. Uh, and
You
I'll just keep looking at the EU and the NZD/USD because the pairs, if the dollar keeps getting weaker, these pairs will probably hit a weekly trend line. So
Yeah. After I'll share my chart real quick. I actually after Jao was just sharing GA. I looked at EA, and this is pretty interesting. Steven, would you call this a zone here?
Yeah, I mean, it is definitely in the right below the gray box where in that, in that uptrend right there, that's a beautiful demand zone that's, had multiple reactions from it. I would definitely call that a good zone. It's broken the highs that made it as well. So that's your definition of a good zone. If it breaks the high or low that made it.
Yeah. So this could be a good opportunity.
Definitely.
But like a lot of times on Sundays, especially
Hey,
late.
Steven.
What's up?
Sorry,
Yes, sir.
sorry, Clay. Can you go over that? What you just said? If it breaks a high or a low that made it.
So the supply and demand strategy is if you to determine if you have a good supply or demand zone is it's validated if a good demand zone will actually break the high that made it, and a good supply zone will break the low that made it.
It's the that
That's
made
how
it
you know.
part that I'm struggling with. Just the wording.
I'd have to show you in a chart whenever Clay
Yeah.
gets finished with
All
this
right.
setup.
Sorry.
I'll break it down.
All right. Thanks, though. Appreciate it. What were you saying,
Yeah,
Clay?
you're welcome.
Oh no, I just think this could be a really good setup here potentially, especially if like a lot of times on Sundays we see just a continuation of what happened Friday, and if we see more risk rallying, like in terms of stocks and S&P 500 and that kind of thing, then maybe this could provide a good buying opportunity somewhere around here, even down here, the 78.6. But yeah, that's all I was getting at. So if you want to share, Stephen, what you're saying, or
Yeah, definitely. I'll share.
I think I
All right,
saw the
so
candle. Yeah. Go ahead.
it's kind of what chart were we on? EA?
yeah.
Yeah. Supply and demand is kind of relative, as with everything else is in trading. But so the best zones are, a lot of people trade on lower time frames, which is really good for like scalping and stuff like that. But the best zones are really on your higher time frames, like a small formation. Like what I call this is like basing, but it also makes demand zones, and each wick over wick is really a beautiful demand zone. Especially, so this is considered the high that made this zone, which this zone is really a continuation of down here. This major pivot is really the zone that created this zone, but this is the supply zone that created this whole demand area. And then that's confirmation or validation of this being good demand because it broke the high that made it, and it even broke this major high this is a continuation supply zone of this one. So this is just a wonderful zone. That this is a strong move out. That's a massive rally. So that's why you've had, 1, 2, 3, 4, bounces off of this area. But the market's obviously trying to break through it. I don't know how much longer this zone will last, but then you have another one right here. This wick over wick area, this is another good zone. And even on a smaller scale, this is the high that made this zone, which it broke through, and this is the high that made this zone, which it broke through. So that's smaller confirmations or validations of zones, but this is like a more massive one. That's how you really judge the strength of a good demand zone.
Cool. Very cool. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Interesting.
Awesome,
Indeed.
guys. Well, yeah, it's going to be a good week. Let's just enter in slow and wait for the market to show its hand. That's really what I'm going for. Mark, you got anything to add?
I guess I just drew up AU earlier, and I went way out to just a weekly time frame, and I kind of had this purple line as the bottom triangle, and obviously it broke it here. It went back up, and it kind of retested it. So,
You can't see it.
but on the daily, this is where it went up and kind of has a false breakout. So now we're heading back down, and then we're sitting right. If I draw this trend line here, this yellow one,
Can
we're
you
right
share?
at it.
Can you share your screen, Mark?
Oh, I'm sorry.
On AU?
Yeah. You guys see it now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so the weekly, this purple line right here coming up was a weekly bottom of a triangle that we obviously broke and went way down. I went back up and tested it and lost, or I guess if you want to say that. And now we're heading back down, so you got dollar strength, I guess, on this one. And then if I zoom in, even 4 hours where I stopped. So this was the break of that purple line back, retested it. And obviously now I'm working off this trend line and we're right at it.
Right.
So I'm either thinking if we blow through it, we're going to go up and retest the bottom of this.
Man, it's at a major quarter too.
So that's kind of just watching it to see if it obeys, I guess, this trend line.
Yeah.
And heads down, or go back up and retest this, since it's never really, as it broke through here, it never really went up and retested it yet.
Right. Yeah, no, I have that. I have that same ascending wedge, and like 73.20 or something like that would be kind of I was thinking a good sell zone as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I mean the 768 is 72.7.
Yeah, that's a monster supply zone right there too, with a major quarter number right there. That's a damn good zone.
So this one is just kind of the first one I did today, and
That's a beautiful setup. I'm so glad you showed us that.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That motherfucker.
that was the first one. And then just UJ, I guess, is the other one I always look at, more or less just to kind of get an idea of what the market's doing, I guess, because UJ to me is just off on its own.
It is anymore, dude. That's for sure.
It doesn't really follow what it used to follow in terms of the S&P 500 and all that.
An enigma.
But I have this in this triangle, I guess, and then I put a fib on here, so now and this is almost a double bottom, is the way I'm playing it. And then heading up, but not with the dollar or whatever, going back down to retest the 23.6 and then maybe put in a buy limit here, just see how it reacts here.
Yeah.
And then I guess this is what I'm looking at here. Either there or blow through it up to 50, 106, 107.
Yeah.
106, I guess that's 106.95. Is the 50.
Yeah, I have something similar on UJ too. I'll show you real quick, and then we'll wrap it up. Yeah, for UJ, let's see. you usually have this kind of breakout that happened, and then Blake sent a signal out for that. You see it on the daily, potentially looks like false breakout, but I'm thinking that if GJ like breaks out, or maybe if the risk rally continues, if we get dollar weakness, then this would be a good, we're gonna see something like that.
X marks the spot.
Yeah, I mean, it looks pretty spot on here. So, and if we break down here, then that's going to be super bearish for the dollar. That's for sure. But this is one to see if it holds super early. And then AU I have something very similar, dude. So this is how I was looking at it, as like a ascending wedge breakdown. This was, I took a L right here. Yeah, I mean, that AU strength and NZD strength on Friday was pretty relentless, man.
We don't.
I mean, the way I'm kind of thinking is, like you said earlier, continuation of before. So I'm looking at the 786 as a short zone, so it'll kind of turn into a false breakout if it obviously heads back down.
Right. But if we hit this blue line here, this is going to be a pretty legit shorting area.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's brings me to another point. I think this week is especially the closer. I mean, every week should be like that, but the closer we get to the election, I mean, letting the market come to you is like pretty much you'll get hurt otherwise. I know I did last week. So, but yeah, guys, let's just ease our way into it this week and really crush it, man. I think the opportunities are definitely out there, and especially I like the EA, GA, those pound pairs, and waiting to see if the market shows its hand with the dollar, because I think that potentially could have just been really early. It makes no sense to me just logically why we're seeing so much risk sentiment when we got the election in 3 weeks or 2 weeks, and anything could happen. So, yeah, it's going to be.
But the dollar weakness just happened because of the stimulus talk, right? Just the expectation of the people, of the government, printing money, more money, right? There's nothing approved on that. I don't know if I'm wrong, but
No,
You're right.
there's
Sure.
nothing right or wrong about the stimulus. It's just a pissing contest.
I'm just betting. I don't like to use that word, but if I had to bet, I'm just guessing that they are just pumping up the stock markets and like gold markets to go up and then just crash. I don't know, because we are 3 weeks into the election. Probably Trump wants stocks to go up to have more arguments on the debate or some stuff, because I don't see the stimulus happening before there's an actual president. Like if one of them loses, either way. So
The other thing is we might not know who the president is until December.
yeah, probably that's why I'm not counting on dollar just like to die.
Yeah,
because
so
of that.
I think what it was that Florence said the L word. I think what it was is like they're like, okay, no stimulus before the election, but there's going to be a stimulus after it, so we're just might as well just keep on pumping, because we know that there's trillions of dollars coming one way or the other, because they know Biden's going to do it, they know Trump's going to do it after, so all the big companies and stuff and people on Wall Street are like, we got trillions coming into the market anyway, whatever happens.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
But
My other theory was that Chinese crypto that just came out. That was the other.
He's gonna win the election, Rui.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Trump win, even Biden as the positive.
Yeah.
as the numbers on his side. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, there's some manipulation on this kind of stuff. So
Biden's in the lead, but I don't think that's right.
He's definitely got the media behind him.
yeah, something's fishy. That's for sure.
He won't take any interviews, not answering any questions. I mean, this shit's crazy. They're stealing this election because if he got interviewed like by a tough reporter, it would be over.
Yeah, I haven't seen any Biden parade, and there's Trump supporters everywhere. But yeah,
It's just like 2016, but
Yeah.
worse. At least Hillary had fucking interviews and talked.
And that's the thing. I see it like, okay, Biden is winning on numbers, but if I go like to news and stuff like Instagram or Twitter or whatever, I just see people talking about Trump and these numbers. I don't see nothing about Biden. I don't. That's why I'm suspicious about that. But I would like.
The mainstream covering him is like the only, backing he has.
the
It's
propaganda
crazy.
machine in the United States, I've never, like in the past 4 months, I don't know what the hell is happening here, dude. It's insane. Like, right? I mean, it's crazy. But I think, they're just like, I think they're just like, man, sorry. They're taking people to being just like dumbasses and not being able to see through it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so, who knows what's going to happen, but
I guess we'll have to wait.
yeah, all we can do is try to see the market objectively, because we really have, as traders, a better viewpoint than pretty much everybody. You know what I mean? Like, at least we can see. Most people don't understand what's going on in the financial thing, and really, that's the end game. No matter who's in charge, is the financial world behind it. So it's going to be an interesting week, guys. Yeah. So let's just, I know I gave back some profits last week, so I'm going to be looking to recover them and really play it safe as well at the same time, if that's possible. So, Stephen, where are you at? Are you starting a challenge?
Yeah, I mean, I just went on a retarded expensive vacation. I should have done this challenge. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking. I've spent so much money. I have the money, and then I didn't have enough vacation to get a paycheck. So it's either going to be this week or next week. And I have no doubt that I'll win it. I've been super successful. So my win-loss is like 73% right now for the past month and a half.
That's great numbers.
Yeah, because with supply and demand, it manipulates to everything. Long-term, swing trading, scalping, like it works with everything. So when the markets are choppy like this, I didn't have a trade over 60 pips last week. As soon as I saw any kind of pivot reversing, I got out of the trade. But yeah, I just need to do it, man. Even if I have to tap into my savings to pay for it, because what am I? I'm missing out on $100,000 right now.
Right. I think you'll crush it, man. Keep me posted, and yeah, let's get it, man. Definitely keep in mind the storm we're going to be running into in the next 3 weeks.
For sure.
The nightmare.
But well, cool. All right, everybody. Thanks for hopping.
Appreciate you, fam.
And
Have a great week, boys.
crush it this week. All right.
All right.
Sure.
Let's
See you
get it,
guys.
everybody.
See